the robot C-3PO is a fucking douchebag. First he's like, oh, you need to buy the tiny driving trash
By
can.
my friend, he's the best robot in the
but
world.
Of course, he wants to be with his friend.
Quite sure you'll be very pleased with that one, sir. He really is in first-class condition. I've worked with him before.
But then you can argue, why is he so humanoid? Why does he want to be with his friend? He's a robot. And then later in the movie, they say like, oh no, the robot is giving me a lot of trouble. And then C-3PO says, yes, he excels at that.
You know, that little droid is going to cause me a lot of trouble.
Oh, he excels at that, sir.
Fuck yeah, you said I had to buy it, you prick!
And he keeps saying like, oh, R2 is always getting into trouble. He never listens. That R2, he's really a terrible robot.
Wait, you were lying to us, you motherfucking asshole!
I'm going to sell you for parts. No wait, I am going to sell your parts, or I'm going to exchange your parts for better parts and then make a new robot.
Remember when he said in the evening we can't go looking for R2 because of the sand people?
I guess there's always sand
And
people.
now they go outside and there's sand people.
Why would there be more sand people in the evening?
He can just turn off his lights and then like cruise around in the dark and they can't see him. Because they're just sand people on mammoths. Also, how do they know where they have to drive to? They're just going random directions.
Apparently now they can find... Like, none of this makes any fucking sense. Because before... So they're driving in their fucking speeder.
Yeah.
And Luke says, I can see a droid dead ahead. So I can see it on the scanner.
Look, there's a droid on the scanner. Dead ahead.
Why the fuck doesn't the Empire have like scanners to detect droids? Why does his crappy speeder have it, but the fucking Empire doesn't have it?
Why couldn't they go in the evening and look for the droid with the scanner?
Well, why does anything happen? Because the plot needs to happen.
The Empire should have found these shitty droids by now.
Yeah.
They should have interrogated those Jabbas. Because they're driving around in the desert the whole time. They would have found them for sure. Because they did!
Also, no, they find like their corpses, but the Empire is just murdering everyone. I guess that kind of makes them seem evil, but
it doesn't make them efficient.
No, it doesn't make them efficient at all. You murder all the Jabbas and then you murder two farmers. It doesn't make any sense. Why do you murder them? I mean, can't they give you like more information? Maybe you can exchange the droids for like in like some sort of hostage situation. Oh, you get your parents back if you give us the droids.
Yeah, they're already burned skeletons.
What's wrong with them now? There are several creatures approaching from the southeast.
R2 is like a dog.
He barks.
He barks when there are enemies. He should have gone high alert or something. Like there should be some kind of tape that says high alert, enemies outside, enemies
to the
approaching,
southeast.
enemies approaching, or something like that. Instead of that, he's just like beep, boop, 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 boop.
Then you need someone else to translate it for him.
So you need this robot, and then you need a separate translator robot. Just put the functionality of the translator into this robot. And then put all that functionality into one big robot with some other functionality. Why do you just separate all the functionalities over different kind of robots?
Because it's Star Wars and it doesn't make any sense. I know that this is like a special edition.
It's the way George Lucas intended it for you to watch.
Yeah, because you can't buy the 1977 edition version, whatever, on Blu-ray. You can't buy it anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
It still exists on like VHS and stuff, but you can't buy it anymore. So this is George Lucas's ultimate vision.
Yeah, it's the way he wanted it to
And
be.
then like R2 is behind these CGI rocks, but they could never have squeezed in there. Like,
But maybe there was like a path around the rocks, and that's how he got there.
no, don't make excuses for the movie.
Give me that script, I'll write it myself.
And then Obi-Wan comes down and he starts yelling, but you like see him walking there. He's walking like a fucking drunkard, like waggling back and forth.
Stumbling over the rocks, like, whoa, my god!
Oh my god, my old bones, oh my back.
Maybe the sand people know the sound of Wizard Kenobi, and they know, oh shit, he's gonna turn us into monkeys.
Maybe he makes like the sound of some sort of predator, some sort of animal, but they can see him walking there. He's just some old drunkard.
Also, it doesn't make sense for a predator to make a lot of noise when he is approaching his prey.
I guess.
So I don't think it's a predator. Or maybe the movie could be terrible, which it is.
So Luke says that R2-D2 says that he is the property of Obi-Wan Kenobi. But Obi-Wan says like, I don't remember ever owning a droid. But then in the prequels, they didn't make him the droid of Obi-Wan.
They made him just a
they,
random
they made
droid?
him the droid of Anakin. But then also they gave Obi-Wan another droid. So none of this makes sense. Like both lines now don't make sense. Obi-Wan's line doesn't make sense because he did have a droid. And R2's line doesn't make sense because he wasn't the property of Obi-Wan. He was the property of Anakin. If you made him the property of Obi-Wan, at least one of the two lights made sense.
I think it's a giant mistake to add these two shitty robots into the prequels just for fan service.
Yeah.
Want to see more of these assholes? Fuck you! Here they are! Motherfuckers!
I don't want to see more of these assholes. They're stupid robots. But they keep shoving them in our faces. I realize that this has been said before. But if he wants to like go into hiding and make sure that the Empire doesn't find him, why does he change the name Obi-Wan Kenobi to Old Ben Kenobi? I mean, it's pretty obvious that it could be him.
He should have changed his last name to Ben Skywalker.
Ben Snickerdoodle.
Ben Sandman.
Ben Snuffleupagus.
Ben Gandalf.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Mendelsohn.
That's an actor from the hit film Rogue One. What the fuck? Obi-Wan says, I haven't gone by the name of Obi-Wan since before you were born. But that isn't true at all, because we see in the prequels that he only moves to this planet after he's already born to protect him. So it's another lie. Fucking Obi-Wan keeps lying. He keeps just pulling shit out of his ass.
Actually, he's not lying. George Lucas is just...
And this movie isn't lying, but George Lucas just... He never rewatched the original films, I think, when he made the prequels.
When he made the prequels, he didn't, no. Because it's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's so terribly inconsistent. A lot of shit that he made up for the prequels...
It doesn't line up. And then other things, he forces to like line up. Even though there's like a 20-year gap in between. For example, Yoda, he goes into exile. And he immediately, at the end of the third movie, he immediately goes to fucking Dagobah. But then he just sits there doing nothing for 20 years and then he dies. I mean, why doesn't he do something else and then maybe after a while he ends up at Dagobah? No, everything has to line up, but then other things don't line up at all. It just ends up being a gigantic mess. And that's actually more a criticism on the prequels.
Yeah.
But the prequels are just fucking awful.
Because he made the prequel so inconsistent, this movie is ruined too. Because everything they say is fucking false.
Yeah.
Nothing lines up. How does Luke become a good pilot in like this planet of sand?
Okay, so I'm gonna assume that Luke's family doesn't have a spaceship. Because they have to like count on these fucking midgets who pick up crap from the desert to buy their robots, and they can't go.
So they don't have
like,
the money to like afford a pilot pilot education.
Yeah, so they don't have I'm gonna assume you don't even need a pilot education in this universe. You just need to buy a spaceship somewhere, and then you can go anywhere. They don't have a spaceship because they have to count on these fucking random assholes to buy their droids from. They can't just go to the shopping center planet and buy their droids there.
That's actually a really good statement, because every planet has its own own thing, its own biome. So the shopping planet would really be a thing in Star Wars if they would do it. Okay, but whatever.
But then somehow Luke becomes a very good pilot because everyone says it. You have become a very good pilot yourself.
Screw you, old man! I haven't even practiced yet.
And you never see Luke do anything pilot related until the very end, where he's suddenly the best in the world. But how?
You have in the Rebellion like all these other pilots with hundreds of hours in the X-Wing, and he hasn't ever flown it in his entire
He's never
life.
even flown an X-Wing. Yeah, in real life, you need to have proof that you know how to fly this particular aircraft.
The type rating,
Yeah. But like Luke is somehow like the best pilot in the galaxy in an aircraft that he's never flown with before.
It's fucking retarded. If we could just have seen his simulator set up somewhere here, but they can't do that because the computer doesn't exist in the age of the 70s.
In the space age.
So they can't do that. The only thing they can play is Pong. I understand you have become quite good at Pong.
If only we had some kind of tennis rackets to destroy the Empire.
The scene where he gives him the lightsaber because his father wanted him to have it.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough.
It doesn't make any sense.
In context with all the sequels and prequels,
Yeah.
everything Obi-Wan says doesn't make any sense.
And that's really a shame because why didn't they line it up better? Anakin left his son and his daughter he has never seen him.
No.
So and he tried to kill this guy.
But then he says, "Oh, I wanted you to have this."
He was a good friend.
No.
He was the best starfighter in the gun.
When this movie was originally made, that could be the case. But then immediately in the sequel to this movie, they fuck it up because they immediately say that Darth Vader is his father. I'm gonna assume that Darth Vader never said, "I want my son to have this lightsaber." This son I don't even know about.
And then I want him to kill me with it.
I'm gonna assume that didn't happen. So they start fucking it up with the first follow-up. Also, I want to comment on the fact that everybody on this planet, even the bad guys, are for some reason wearing Jedi robes. Luke is wearing Jedi robes.
Yeah.
Sand people are wearing Jedi robes. Why is everybody wearing Jedi robes?
Well, maybe because they live on a sand planet and normal clothing isn't so comfortable. Wearing white robes and not black robes to not be
Or
burned
like jeans and long pants.
not burqas.
The point is, it's fucking stupid that George Lucas made the sand clothing, the Jedi clothing, and that every Jedi has to wear Obi-Wan's clothes because Obi-Wan was the only Jedi in the original movie. So all the Jedis wear his clothes, even though he's just wearing desert clothing.
Also, he's in hiding, right? He doesn't want to show he's some crazy wizard. Why does he wear the dress code for Jedi?
Because he's a fucking idiot. He didn't even change his last name. He dresses like a Jedi. He keeps all his Jedi stuff with him.
It would have been killed immediately by the Empire.
It would have been found and murdered immediately. Yeah.
Of course, Anakin is Darth Vader, and he hates this guy. He hates Obi-Wan. He wants to kill him. We saw that.
Yeah, and he even kills him.
And Obi-Wan burns his legs and his face, and he fucking destroys his entire face and his life, and it's all ruined. And he has a lot of hate towards Obi-Wan Kenobi right now.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he look him up?
How the fuck do they not manage to find Obi-Wan? It's like the fucking easiest thing to find him.
It's the most obvious thing to find him. He still even has his own name.
He lives on the same planet as Darth Vader's son.
A young Jedi named Darth Vader, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil.
Wait, the guy was named Darth Vader? His name was Darth Vader?
He says the Jedi was named Darth
A
Vader.
young pupil named Darth Vader. He was a pupil of mine, he says. Look, was a pupil of mine. Little Darth, how are you? Did you sleep well? Yes, I love my dreams of killing everyone.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that little Vader. Good boy.
Because I think the name Anakin was only brought up the first time in the next movie, I think.
I have no doubt this boy is the offspring of Anakin Skywalker.
For now, in this film, Darth Vader is just some guy.
Yeah.
He's just some guy in a black suit that looks evil. He's like a Sith wizard, but he's not someone with like a lot of political power. Like he's not the one in charge. He's just like some kind of guy. He's in charge of the stormtroopers, but he's not the one who makes decisions.
Yeah. Like, so the main hitman or like the executioner guy.
And later he's like the leader of his flying squad.
Yeah.
But he's just a guy who goes in with the troops to smash up the place. And then later they change all that stuff.
There was no father.
But this universe is inconsistent from the very start.
Yeah.
He's my brother.
The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force.
So, is the power of the Force better than the power to destroy an entire planet?
I would say the power to destroy an entire planet is much better than the power of the Force.
You know why? Because he can destroy the planet where the Jedi lives on, and he's not gonna do anything about it.
Yeah.
What's old Ben gonna do about the giant death laser from the Death Star?
I mean, for as far as we know, the only fucking thing they can do with the Force is like move some objects around.
A mind trick someone.
And mind trick a weak-minded Mongoloid.
Yeah, when you're right next to him.
Yeah.
Because Obi-Wan can mind trick this guy now to blow up Darth Vader or something.
And you can strangle someone from like a few meters away, even
Yeah.
though you could also strangle them if you just hold them.
Although only the bad guys do that.
Or you could stab them with the lightsaber, and you don't even need the Force to use a
Yeah.
lightsaber. You just need some kind of fighting technique.
You know, good guys never use a strangle technique.
No, Luke does in the 6th one. He strangles the pigman. But that's the only time the good guys use the strangle technique. After that, George Lucas forgot.
They could have used it a lot of other times. Would be very convenient. But it says here in the script I can't do it.
I mean, in this fucking movie, Darth Vader is like boasting about how cool the Force is. I got the Force. I'm much better than your planet destroying that machine. But he never uses the Force for anything except for like sensing Obi-Wan.
I sense something. A presence I've not felt since.
And he could use that before. Can't he like sense Obi-Wan when he's like on the planet right in front of them? You can destroy a planet when it's right in front of you, but you can't sense Obi-Wan when he's right in front of you. Makes the planet destroying device much better than the Force, in my book.
I find it stupid, by the way, that they later state, I think in the Force Awakens, they can like interrogate with the Force.
But now they need like a torture ball.
They need like a syringe and...
Maybe Darth Vader isn't just that good with the Force. Maybe he's kind of a loser. Maybe he isn't Space Jesus at all and the prophecy was wrong.
Maybe he's just some asshole.
Maybe he's just some agent of the Empire. I know that these fucking CGI monstrosities are like later additions and weren't part of the original film. But this is the only available film right now, so we have to discuss this. But this is just so fucking offensive. I mean, they just keep shoving shit on the screen. And it was George Lucas's idea, so this is still his vision. It's not someone else. This is all George Lucas is doing. And it's just fucking ugly, just disgusting.
I mean, look at this shit.
It just covers up the whole fucking screen. It's just a CGI blob. It basically just keeps adding dinosaurs to the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe he was jealous of Steven Spielberg with Jurassic Park, and he said, I could also have dinosaurs. So in the late 90s, he just added a bunch of dinosaurs to his movie.
Probably.
Just randomly.
The scene where he's like mind tricking the one guy, it's fucking fantastic. There's like 5 or 6 stormtroopers surrounding the little craft, and he's mind tricking the one guy, and it's obvious that he is just saying a line to the guy.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
And the guy is repeating it. It's fucking obvious that he's mind tricking him.
It is funny though.
Yeah, it's funny, I guess.
It's a funny scene, but they should have given some kind of indication that the other guys are also being mind tricked by like confirming what the other guy is saying or something.
Yeah. It would even have made for a funnier scene.
Yeah.
Like, no, he's right. We don't need his identification. Do you need? No, I don't. I don't want to see his identification at all. Fuck his identification. I want to see it.
It's maybe a little too extreme.
These droids are fucking ugly. We're not looking for those droids at all.
I don't even want to look at these droids. I'm gonna gouge my fucking eyes out so I don't have to look at these droids.
When they're going walk into the club
cantina.
Yeah. He's saying like we need a freighter pilot.
Why do they need a freighter?
Why do they have freight? They just need like a small ship where they can fit 2 guys and 2 droids into.
Yeah, and that's it.
They don't need anything more than that. They don't have any freight.
And
what do they have for freight? Why does the bartender actually state we don't serve his kind? It's just a robot. He could probably use a robot for his shitty drink pouring.
He's just a racist. Most racists are idiots.
It's fucking retarded, right?
Of course it's retarded, but I don't know, they just needed something to make it seem like it was a hostile environment. Because, I mean, the entire Mos Eisley Cantina, it seems quite pleasant, to be honest. You got like people from all different cultures, some smooth jazz on the background. It seems very nice, but then the bartender is a racist because he does like droids.
Droids aren't even a race, they're just a tool. They're just a piece of machinery.
Alright, so he dislikes tools. Happy now, motherfucker. Like, Obi-Wan is in hiding and he doesn't want to get caught by the Empire.
Yeah, obviously.
Because he doesn't want them to know that he's a Jedi.
Of course.
Because they want to kill all the Jedis.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna assume that Mos Eisley is a pretty big city on Tatooine because it's a spaceport and you see so many different aliens.
It's probably the capital.
It might be. I don't know. I'm not gonna look it up on fucking Wikipedia because who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But it's a pretty big city. And yet he just pulls out his fucking lightsaber when like some other aliens are making trouble.
But when I watched this scene, and like it's been a really long time, and I watched that movie. When I watched this scene after so long, I thought he's just gonna mind trick him, right? He's been mind tricking everyone. Just mind trick the guy.
At least
He
try
looks-
it.
He looks like a fucking weak-minded asshole. Just try it.
It could have just mind tricked it, or
maybe he tried,
or he
yeah.
could have displayed some other Jedi power to like
Yeah.
get him away or something. Maybe something more creative than just taking out the weapon of a Jedi, because that's what the Emperor calls it in Star Wars Part 3 of the original movies.
Yes. A Jedi's weapon.
Well, anyway, maybe because he said this little one isn't worth the effort. I guess that was his line that he had to deliver to mind trick the guy, and it didn't work.
Oh, maybe, but he didn't do the hand wave thing. This one isn't worth the effort.
It's like a switch and flick. Wingardium Leviosa.
You need to do the hand movements, otherwise the force doesn't work. It malfunctions.
Fucking force.
What did the Castle Run eventually end up being in the hit film Solo: A Star Wars Flop?
It was just an escape from some shitty mine.
They were trying to escape from some villains. I don't remember the movie that well, and I'm not gonna
No,
rewatch it.
so they were at this mine, and this mine was like in the middle of a dust cloud, and there was only one way to go through the dust clouds, and it was the way through, because parsecs are a measure of distance and not time.
Fast ship. It's a ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Obviously,
George Lucas didn't know that.
Didn't know anything about space, so he doesn't know. Whatever. So they solved it in the hit film Han Solo, the Star Wars Flop.
You can't make the Kessel Run in less than 20 parsecs.
Just did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
The way they solved it is they did the run, the Castle Run being escaping the shitty planet through the normal route, and they went through the dust cloud. And so that's a shorter distance.
So
for
they
some
just
reason.
they just took a shortcut, and
Yeah.
for some reason that's the.
But it doesn't. It
doesn't make the
say,
ship faster.
No, it doesn't say anything about the speed of the ship.
Yeah.
It just says like, we didn't die.
We took a shortcut.
Yeah,
and
we took a
didn't
shortcut
die.
in the sand and we didn't die.
He should be boasting about the hull of the ship. This ship can't do the Castle Run at 12 parsecs because it has such a good hull.
I don't understand how he can have so much facts.
I don't understand how we can have parsec wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, light year is somewhat understandable because the term is kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Because you have the word year in it. But parsec, come on. Even back then, you could just look it up or ask someone. Come on. Maybe the person he asked didn't know either.
What I assume is that George heard the term from somewhere and then said, "Oh, it sounds very sci-fi. I'm just gonna use this." And I have no clue what the hell it means.
Mm-hmm. And the entire point of this whole nitpicking bullshit is that it didn't make any sense in this movie. They tried to fix it in Solo: A Star Wars Flop, and it still doesn't make any sense when you watch this movie.
So it was all for nothing.
I have a feeling that's the only reason why they made the Solo movie. Is
Just to
explain-
fix this fact.
That's also the only reason why they made Rogue One. Is just to fix like the fact like why does the Death Star have such a gigantic flaw built into it?
Yeah.
Oh, we need to make a movie to say that there's some guy who built it in. It can't just be something that's part of the structure, but if you know how to navigate it because you have the plans,
Yeah.
you can use it against them.
It's funny how he says, by the way, in the scene in the bar, I've outrun Imperial starships, and later we see them. I think in a later movie, we see them like flying away from starships, and they just fly right behind him, and he doesn't lose them at all.
That's because his hyperdrive isn't working, but he also can't lose them by just flying because they're also not using their hyperdrive.
No, but every ship with a hyperdrive could outrun them.
Yeah.
Because they have a hyperdrive. So what's the point of like boasting about the speed of this thing if it's just going to hyperdrive? The most shitty shit cruiser in Star Wars has hyperdrive. Everything can go in hyperdrive.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
No, the only thing that can't go in hyperdrives are escape ships that should go in hyperdrive, but they don't have a hyperdrive because reasons.
Well, because of the plot. What I don't understand is he's boasting about the speed of his ship, but he doesn't need speed at all. He just needs something casual, because he's just transporting his. It could be his son and his grandpa and his two shitty robots.
Speed is not a concern to them because they're not aware that the Empire is going to blow up Alderaan. For some reason, they need the most poorly constructed freighter to fly them
with an
there.
offset cockpit.
Yeah.
So it's fucking hard to fly it into small corridors.
Which is built so loading and unloading cargo is extremely difficult. Because you do know how like cargo ships are built on Earth. And I understand that this is a spaceship, but you could build it so it's easier to load and unload their cargo. How the fuck is the Millennium Falcon ever supposed to function that way?
I guess the only freight they can carry is drugs.
I guess.
Small cargo.
But you need the real cargo to hide the drugs.
Yeah.
Because if you just have an empty freighter and you're hiding the drugs under the floorboards, they're also gonna be suspicious. I mean, this is the 7th time we pulled you over. You keep flying around without cargo. Something's up, man.
The Empire would search cargo freighters.
Because they could smuggle shit.
Yeah, but sure. I guess the ship doesn't really look like a cargo freighter. It looks more like a heap of trash.
It looks more like a generic ship. It doesn't look like a freighter.
Yeah, but they say it's a freighter.
Yes, we've captured a freighter.
I know, but the design doesn't reflect it. If I were to turn that in at school, if they told me design a cargo freighter spaceship and I would turn in the Millennium Falcon, they would fail me so hard.
If Star Wars never existed.
Because it doesn't reflect its functionality at all.
Couldn't they just fucking dump the droid somewhere and just take the hard disk drive from the stupid trash can and just put it in his pocket? They never searched them.
No, because they're all friends now. They can't just leave the droids at the home.
Fuck that shit! They're stupid droids!
But that's actually a good point. He could just go home. He could say to R2-D2 and C-3PO, "Hey, how about you fuckers look after the place? I'm gonna take these plans to Alderaan. They're not gonna search me because they're not looking for me. Because they're looking for 2 droids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put these plans in my ass so they won't find them. And then when I arrive in Alderaan, I'm gonna pull them out of my ass."
Just like I pulled the script out of my ass. It's fucking stupid.
It would be much more logical since they're only searching for 2 droids.
Yeah. How long have you had these droids?
About 3 or 4 seasons.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
And if you want to play it, like the father of Leia probably has some kind of projector to play the drive, right?
Probably has a DVD player.
It can be really hard to play that shit, right? It's not like you really need an R2 unit to play the thing back because...
And chances are he has an R2 unit. I mean, they're widely available.
Yeah. Take the part, sell the droid, and then just go to Alderaan. Fuck you! Get the money, get drunk from the money.
The stormtroopers, I guess, are just searching the entire planet on foot. And then when they encounter a locked door, they just say,
"Door's locked, move on to the next one."
"Ah, fuck it," and move on.
It's locked. I knocked 12 times, but they didn't open, so it's locked. In this kind of movie, they would probably just shoot a control panel and the door would open. Wait. Back at the cantina, they said to the droids, "Alright, wait outside."
Let's wait out by the speeder. We don't want any trouble.
You know, so they waited outside at the door. And then the stormtroopers came in and they were looking for 2 droids. But they failed to recognize the 2 droids that were standing outside in front of the door. Yeah, that makes sense.
So this terrible scene where Han Solo encounters Jabba the Hutt.
Look, it's Greedo!
Oh yeah, Greedo is right there. All the information given in the Greedo scene is again given in the Jabba the Hutt scene for some reason.
Yeah, but this time I've got the money. I don't have it with me.
Pay you back, plus a little extra. I just need a little more time.
Even I get boarded sometimes. Do you think I had a choice?
Look, Jabba, even I get boarded sometimes. You think I had a choice?
Yeah.
And originally this scene wasn't part of the movie. The scene was filmed, but with like an actor in some kind of coat. I've seen the original scene. It's just some fatso.
Yeah. It's a human being.
It's a human being. So the dialogue that they exchange makes more sense because he calls him a human being. I guess in this case you could say that it's like ironic.
Jabba, you're a wonderful human being. Jabba, you're a wonderful human being.
Because he's like the furthest from a human being that he can be. But whatever. All the information that you get from this was already given before. The only thing you get out of this is a terrible CGI monstrosity and like this weird fucking effect of like Han Solo walking over his tail where he's like awkwardly
and
raised.
he's talking into his nose and not into his eyes.
Yeah.
It's like looking into his fucking mouth.
It's terrible.
It's a fucking shitty scene.
Yeah.
And also, Jabba comes off as like a really sweet guy.
He comes over as a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Like, I need more time, Jabba. Oh, my boogie, it's okay.
You're the best! Han! Oh, for only 20% more. Hey, no. 20 is too much, my boy. 15. Alright, 15, you're the best! My best friend Han, you fucko! Alright, so why did Han actually say that the ship was a docking bay?
Docking Bay 94.
94.
Why did he say docking bay? Because this isn't a docking bay, this is a landing pad.
That's because docking sounds space-ish and landing sounds plane-ish. So George Lucas wrote in his script docking bay because that's what spaceships do, they dock.
But it landed. Look, it's a landing
Yeah,
pad.
it's landed. It isn't docked to anything.
No,
it's just landed.
Yeah, it's just another example of George Lucas just writing gibberish on a script because he doesn't know space terms.
Because he heard docking related to space one time. So he wrote that, oh, it's a docking bay. But this isn't a docking bay. If a docking bay exists, that's not what it is.
I guess from the Star Destroyers, the landing compartments.
Yeah, for
could
like
be,
shuttle.
Yeah, they could be like classified as docking bays. I guess they're kind of landing bays.
Uh-huh.
They're never docking though.
No.
So.
But this isn't a spaceship. This is just some kind of sand hole. It's just a funny visual, really, more than something that's really bad. But it's just so funny that when they're firing the giant death laser, they're just standing next to it, like it's not giving off any radiation or heat or anything. Yeah. It's just standing next to it.
It's like a giant death laser.
It's a giant planet-destroying death laser. They're just standing there casually next to it. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of schlock.